All right, welcome to day 2. Things are rolling, huh? How did that feel? How did it feel waking up today, thinking those thoughts, starting to think those highest thoughts? Did you feel some conflict inside? Did you feel inspired by them? I hope so. The more you start to focus on those thoughts, the more they start to give you momentum and carry you through your day, and the more you're going to start to change the way that you feel and the actions that you're willing to take, and also the more power those actions are going to actually have to affect the changes that you want in your life. So I want you to do now is just pull out your journal, right, and take a look at those thoughts and start to go through those thoughts. And I want you to pick 3 that are your top 3 thoughts, and we're going to work on those. And we're going to start to do a process which is going to turn them from just random thoughts into an actual belief. If you think about it, right, there's thousands and thousands of thoughts that are operating in our lives every single day, right? But when they distill down into a belief, it's kind of like an operating system. It's kind of like an app on your operating system that causes a whole bunch of processes to work. When you have one belief operating, if you think, like, let's say if you believe yourself to be a good person, right, you're going to hold the door for that lady when she's walking behind you, or you're going to pick up that piece of trash and you see it even though you didn't drop it, because that's your belief about yourself as a person. Whatever your belief is, it's operating in a way that runs a great portion of your life. In fact, that's like one of the things that about beliefs is they simplify things. You have a belief, you know how to act in this situation. You don't have to think about it every single day. There's some people talk about this decision-making process that we have, and every decision we make from day to day takes a certain amount of energy. And that's another evolutionary process that we've come up with to deal with those, because in order to keep us operating at a high level, from an evolutionary standpoint, we don't want to be wasting time and energy and effort trying to suss out the best action for every single situation. It's much better if you just have a belief operating, then okay, if this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do that. I don't have to think about it and process it every single time, because then I'm wasting energy, and I'm wasting my bandwidth for every single situation that comes up. It's much better if I can just know what to do in that situation because I have that belief operating. But the problem is that if we have a negative belief that's operating in our system, then it's limiting us in ways that are just holding us back in so many ways. Like if you have the belief operating, and this is a core crux of a belief that's operating at some level in almost every single one of us. Unless you've really done some work, or unless you've just had a super blessed life and like really enlightened parents, most likely this belief is operating at some level, and it's something like this: I'm not good enough, or I can't do it. That's the seed. That's what creates the seed of doubt. And what we tend to do is, like, we don't want that doubt to hold us back. So we're just like, what? I feel that, right? But I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to do it anyway. There's that old philosophy, feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's great, right? But how much better would it be if you just didn't feel the fear to begin with? If you didn't have that hold back, like, how much more empowered would your actions be? We've all seen people who have this utmost sense of confidence, and those are the people who have been able to transcend these limiting beliefs, right? So, but I know for myself, those things were operating at a certain level, and I began to do practices to bring them up to the surface so that I could release them, so that now I can operate with a higher belief and not have the negative belief that's working against it. Because the way your subconscious works is whatever belief is more powerful, like whichever one you have more invested in, that's really the one that's going to be controlling you at a subconscious level. So you might be thinking on the surface, like, I can do this. But if you have that limiting belief operating under the surface, which is saying, you can't do this, or I don't know if I can do this, right? It's just that seed of doubt. Then if you're believing that, then it's holding you back at some level. So we're going to start to change that. But for now, what I want you to do is just become aware of these higher beliefs that you have that we're starting to install. And the way to install a belief is I want you to think about it like a tabletop. And every reason that you put under that table is another leg, right, that's supporting it. So if the belief is, of course I can do it, right? I can do it, of course I can. then what I need to do is create some reasons why that belief is true. And the more powerful the reasons are, and the more reasons that I have, the more empowered and the more stable that belief is going to be. So for instance, when I first did this process, this exact same process that changed my life from the course when I first created it last year, that was one of my top beliefs that I wanted to instill in myself at a very high level. I can do it. Of course I can. You know, if I didn't have that belief operating within me, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. Because I would have quit. I would have gotten so far and said, you know what, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if anyone's going to ever watch this video, you know, this challenge. I don't know if I'll be able to market it to people. I don't know if I even have anything worthwhile to say. Even though I know I've got things worthwhile to say, I've been studying this stuff forever. I've made some great changes in my life, and it's my mission to help people. I love helping people. You know, I can work with someone one-on-one, and I see the changes and transformations that they make and light up, and I can watch them break through. And it's incredible to me, right? But the seed of doubt was still operating in me, and it would have held me back had I not done this process. So the reasons why I came up with to support that belief were, I can do it. Of course I can, because I only have to do whatever's being asked of me in this moment. How many times do we feel overwhelmed because we got so much stuff to do? You know, we got to do this, that, and the other thing in order to reach the target. It's just so much. It feels overwhelming. It feels like, I don't know if I can do that, right? But if you think about it, all you ever have to do is just whatever's being asked of you in this moment. Like right now, whatever's being asked of me, if I try to think about all the things that I have to do to produce this course, I mean, all the things that led up to just putting me here in front of the camera are innumerable. If I was going to describe just those right now, it would take me hours. But that's a lot. That's overwhelming, right? And I can't do all that right now. What I can do right now is sit here and speak to you. And that's all that's being asked of me in this moment. I'm not being asked to do anything else, just that. And if I focus on that, I find out that what? I can do it. Of course I can. So that's reason number one that I came up with. Another reason that I came up with, and you know, here's the thing too. The reasons, they don't have to be factual. They don't have to necessarily be true. The thing is, it's like Henry Ford said, if you think you can do it or whether you think you can't do it, you're right. So think about what Henry Ford said years ago. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It doesn't matter whether the belief is even true. What matters is whether or not it empowers you. Because at some level, a belief is a belief because we can't factually prove it 100%. It's a stretch to some degree. That's why it's a belief. Otherwise, it would just be pure knowledge, factual. But it's a stretch on some level. So again, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Think about all the crazy beliefs that you might have had in the past that were not true once you examine them. You know, think about that belief, I'm not good enough. Who's not good enough? Not good enough for who? There's no metric that says you have to meet this criterion in order to be good enough. You know, that doesn't exist. It's just a belief. You can believe you're good enough, or you can believe you're not good enough. Which one isn't going to empower you? So again, these reasons, they don't necessarily have to be factually verifiable or quantifiable, as you'll see with my next one. The next reason I came up with is this reason that I stated. The universe conspires to guarantee that my worthy aims are met with success. You know, I truly believe that the universe is a living entity that is aware of my thoughts, it's aware of me, it's aware of every single other person, and it's aware of the whole and everything that's operating within it. You don't have to believe that. I'm not asking you to believe it. You can believe whatever you want. Again, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. What matters is, does it empower you? But what I've found is, since I've adopted that belief, I start to see these conspiracies happening. I start to see synchronicities happening, meetings, you know, conversations that I have with people that, you know, lead me towards my goal, that lead me to taking new actions and, you know, and connecting with new people, and all of the things that come together that we have no direct control over. I see that as the universe's way of conspiring to help me. Sometimes a challenge can be the universe's way of conspiring to help me, because it gives me the impetus that I needed to grow in that area that's going to get me to take my life to the next level. So that's my second one. And then my third one is that I am extremely resourceful and I never quit. Therefore, the universe knows that I'm serious. So those are 3 reasons that I have to support the belief I can do it. Of course I can. And that's just one. That's just one of the top 3 that I picked. So I want you to go through your list and pick out the top 3 and then sit down and with each one find at least 3. More is better. You can always do more. There's high achievers out there. Good for you. Keep doing it. And just find 3 reasons that you can support that belief or that you can support that idea, that thought, right? And really start to turn it into a belief. So that it's going to operate on a subconscious level and it's going to start to do the work for you. Then again, you're not going to have to sit there and think every time you have a new idea, I don't know if I can do it though. Of course you can do it. All you got to do is do what's being asked of you in this moment. That's all any of us ever have to do. And you can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You're watching this video, you are a champion. There is no question about it. You wouldn't have even been attracted to this series if there wasn't that spirit of the champion operating within you. So keep that in mind as you go through this process. And again, just keep bringing these thoughts up to mind as much as you can and then put them into practice. Another powerful principle is that when you think the thought and you have the reason supporting it, take some kind of action. The more you get in the habit of taking actions that these beliefs are supporting, the more it's just going to tell your subconscious that yes, this is true. This is true. Operate with this. Go with this. Because obviously, he must believe it if he's taking action. So that's all for today. I will see you soon. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Have a great one.